For 9 seasons, Roseanne was the most honest working-class family on American television. The Conner household was loud, messy, broke, and completely real in a way that network sitcoms had never dared to be before. Roseanne Barr became the most powerful woman in Hollywood, and the show redefined what primetime comedy could say about poverty, marriage, and the struggle to survive. But behind the kitchen table in Lanford, Illinois was one of the most explosive, volatile, and legally complicated productions in the history of American television. Here are the shocking, behind-the-scenes secrets that the network tried their absolute best to hide from the viewers. Fact number 10, the show that was stolen from its creator. The show's origin was a direct theft that Roseanne Barr spent years fighting to correct. ABC executive Marcy Carsey and producer Tom Werner originally developed the show based on Barr's stand-up comedy act without giving her any creative control. They hired a showrunner named Matt Williams and a writing staff that proceeded to write stories that Barr felt completely missed the authentic working-class voice she had spent years developing. Barr showed up to the first table read the pilot script, and promptly declared that it was garbage. She then launched an aggressive campaign to seize creative control of her own show, a battle that would define the entire 9-season run and make her one of the most feared and respected figures in Hollywood. Fact number 9, the first showrunner firing. The first showrunner was fired in a confrontation so explosive it became industry legend. Roseanne Barr and showrunner Matt Williams clashed from the very first week of production over the show's tone and authenticity. After a screaming argument on the set that several crew members later described as one of the most intense confrontations they had ever witnessed in a professional environment, Williams was removed from the show. He was replaced by a succession of showrunners, each of whom would struggle to survive Barr's absolute demand for creative control. Fact number 8, John Goodman's hidden battles. John Goodman, who played Dan Conner with warmth and extraordinary depth, was quietly fighting his own battles throughout the show's run. Goodman struggled with severe depression and alcohol dependency during the production, conditions that he later addressed publicly in interviews. The demanding shooting schedule of a primetime network sitcom, combined with the intense atmosphere created by Barr's frequent conflicts with the writing staff, placed enormous stress on the cast. Goodman channeled much of his personal pain into his performance, and many of Dan Conner's most emotionally devastating scenes drew from very real feelings of exhaustion and hopelessness. Fact number 7, the firing spree that terrified Hollywood. The show's later seasons saw Roseanne Barr gain unprecedented power that she used in deeply controversial ways. After years of fighting, Barr eventually won total creative control of the series, becoming her own executive producer and effectively controlling every aspect of the production. She began firing writers, directors, and producers at a pace that alarmed the studio and ABC. Over the course of 9 seasons, the show cycled through an astonishing number of showrunners, with some lasting only weeks. Fact number 6, the National Anthem that shocked America. The now infamous National Anthem incident nearly destroyed the show at its commercial peak. In 1990, Roseanne Barr was invited to sing the National Anthem before a San Diego Padres baseball game. Her deliberately screeching, comedic performance, followed by grabbing her crotch and spitting, ignited a national firestorm. President George H.W. Bush called the performance disgusting. Advertisers threatened to pull their commercials from her show. ABC executives privately discussed whether to cancel the series entirely. The controversy consumed weeks of news coverage, and while the show survived and continued to dominate the ratings, the incident permanently altered how the broader public perceived Barr. Fact number 5, the episodes ABC tried to stop. The show tackled subjects that network television had never touched, often in direct defiance of ABC's standards executives. Roseanne featured a same-sex kiss in 1990, 4 years before most networks would consider such content. The episode earned massive ratings but triggered a wave of advertiser pullouts and a formal warning from ABC's standards department. Barr responded to the warning by publicly mocking the network's timidity in interviews. The show also addressed domestic violence and drug addiction and abortion with a directness that stunned network executives who had become accustomed to a more sanitized version of the series. Fact number 4, the season that destroyed itself. The final season of the original run was so bizarre that it functioned as a complete creative self-destruction. In season 9, the Conner family won the lottery, a plot development that completely abandoned the show's foundational working-class identity. The storylines grew increasingly surreal and disconnected from the realistic family drama that had made the show groundbreaking. Barr later revealed in her memoir that she had deliberately made the final season strange and unpredictable as a form of creative experimentation that the network was powerless to stop. The season finale revealed that much of the show's events had been Roseanne's own fictional novel, a twist that infuriated fans and critics. But fact number 3, the two Beckys. The character of Becky Conner was played by two different actresses without any explanation, mirroring Bewitched's Darren Problem decades earlier. Lizzie Goranson originated the role and played it for the first 5 seasons before leaving to attend college at Vassar. Sarah Chalk was brought in as a replacement and played the character for 2 seasons. The behind-the-scenes reason was a contract dispute that Barr handled aggressively, leaving Goranson. Fact number 2: 18 million viewers and then nothing. The show's revival in 2018 and its almost immediate cancellation became one of the most talked about events in television history. ABC brought back Roseanne to enormous ratings, with the premiere drawing over 18 million viewers and earning comparisons to the show's original peak. However, within weeks of the revival's premiere, Barr posted a racist tweet about former Obama administration official Valerie Jarrett. ABC cancelled the show within hours, an almost unprecedented decision given the revival's commercial success. The network then produced a spin-off called The Conners that continued the show with the entire original cast minus Barr, who was written out by having her. Fact number 1: the war over a show that could not die. The financial fallout of the cancellation and the spin-off created one of Hollywood's most complex and bitter legal situations. Barr retained significant financial interests in the show through her ownership stake, meaning she continued to earn money from the Conners despite being excluded from it entirely. The saga remains one of the clearest examples of how deeply personal, financial, and creative interests can become permanently entangled in the machinery of television. The story of Roseanne is a story about power, authenticity, and the price of saying exactly what you think on a platform that reaches millions. Thank you for watching this episode of Sitcom Secrets. Please like this video and subscribe for more untold stories from your favorite classic television shows.